We begin this hour in KwaZulu-Natal, where Judge Mjabuliseni Madondo has denied Queen Sibongile Dlamini-Zulu leave to amend her application to add an order to invalidate King Zwelithini's customary marriages to his 5 other wives. Now, Madondo cited the amendment was made too late into the proceedings and that there is no valid reason for the late submission.
The applicant, Queen, has applied for amendment at a very late stage of the proceedings, and no reasons have been advanced as to why it was not timelessly raised, so to enable proper investigation and response thereto by the 1st to the 5th respondents. So the procedure set out in the rules was not followed or honored, to the prejudice, not only to the prejudice of the 1st to the 5th respondent, but to all other people who will be affected by the granting of the relief sought. As a result, the application to amend is accordingly refused.
For more on this, I'm now joined by Nkosikhona Duma, who is outside for us, outside the court for us, and joins us live now. Nkosikhona, what sort of reaction are we seeing? And perhaps just gauging from what legal experts had to say about this matter, was this outcome sort of anticipated?
Indeed, Paul. So the outcome was indeed anticipated, because you'll recall that this particular matter is not necessarily new, although the papers were launched on an urgent basis, after, of course, the reading of the will of the late Queen Mantfombi, who was married to the late Zulu King Zwelithini. Of course, I refer to the court papers that were launched by Queen Sibongile Dlamini, who's not, as we have to make this very clear, who's not related to Queen Mantfombi Dlamini-Zulu and her daughters. But we were told what the lawyers, rather the respondents, especially on the part of Advocate Griffiths Madonsela, who's representing, Zulu King, Mrs. Zulu Zwelithini, among others, has said that, amending the papers now would simply be an act of prejudice. And of course, the sentiment was echoed, by legal experts that we have spoken to. Interestingly, we've asked about some of the reaction that we are seeing here. Well, yesterday, as you saw, Paul, there were Zulu maidens and regiments pretty much occupying this entire vicinity space around me of the Pietermaritzburg High Court. Today, that is not the scenes that we are seeing. We have been told, of course, that they are still on their way, but in the parts of the Zulu maidens, as we spoke earlier on to one of their leaders, we are told that for financial reasons they will not be able to come in the numbers that we saw yesterday. But on the issue of Amabutho, I'm now joined by Mr. Senzo Dlamini. Mnumzane Dlamini, thank you so much for joining us here on Newzroom Afrika. Just talk to us about, of course, your sentiments about what is going on in court today. I understand that you are, of course, in favor of the defects of Zulu King, Mrs. Zulu Zwelithini.
Baba, sifisa ukuthokoza kakhulu ndaba ezitsha. Ubona silapha nje ngabe kudilika indaba zonke ziphakathi kwethu la. Kodwa ngenxa yokulalela izwi likamntwana wakaphinda angene oundunankulu wakithi kwaZulu. Sihloniphileke ukuthi ngokwenxa yemigomo yezwe silawulayo njengamanje eCovid-19 akuzugcwala wonke umuntu la. Kodwa sifisa ukusho futhi ukuthi izolo njengoba nibonile nomhlaba wonke ubonile, abatwana basendlunkulu bebela behamba namakhosi asendlunkulu, behamba namabutho onke phakathi kwethu sonke sizosho into eyodwa ukuthi lokho esikhule sitshelwa ngakho ukuthi loyo lotshelwe inkomo zesizwe kuye siyophiwa inkosi eyolandela esithele emehlweni ethu. So njengoba sila sizosho ukuthi ukusithela kwenkosi yethu esithandayo umdlokombane asisange size sisale singenamuntu, sisele nenkosi yethu njengoba usho kwakhangela amankengane esigodlweni uMisuzulu kaZwelithini kabhejane ephuma esiqwini. So sifisa ukusho ukuthi silana nje ngaleso sizathu ukuthi sizothi sizwe samaZulu asele sodwa Nkosikhona inkantolo yenza umsebenzi wayo kodwa ekugcineni kwakho konke thina ukhona sithi kuye bayedwa hleze ehlalweni ngoba isihlalo asihleli singenamnikazi ukhona uMisuzulu kaZwelithini.
Mnumzane Sibalikhulu uthi nihlonipha isiphakamiso esikhishwe umntwana akaphinda ngene umnumzane uMangosuthu uButhelezi ngokuthi ningahlangana ngobuningi ngenxa yokuthi nihlonipha futhi nemigomo ye-coronavirus kodwa izolo bekwenzekeni pho ngoba sibabonile abantu begcwele behlangenela
kuba ukuthi kusondele nje labo abaseduzane I think abenze ngishikota abantu akade bela amabutho ngifisa ukuyiphinda lento ukuzalwa nje komntwana ezelwe ekhaya noma ikuphi manje uphakathi kwesizwe lesi sethu samaZulu usuyibutho ngakho ke mangingathiwa bonke abantu bebeza la bekungeke kuhambeke beliyomanse idolobha ngakho akubanga njalo kuhlonishwe nje izwi ukuthi laba baseduze bangasondela nalabo ke ngoba abantwana basendlunkulu ngeke bahambe bodwa besuka phesheya kothukela bakhona nje laba behlile kodwa nje basicacisa ukuthi kwehle nje lelo dlanzana elincane elingenzi ngishikota yamabutho onke kaZulu.
Manje luthini ke uhlelo namhlanje siyabona usene impela angathi ligcwele amaphoyisa nezintatheli badlula wona amabutho noma laba abathi bazoseka isilo uMisuzulu kaZwelithini mhlawumbe khona singabalindele sibangafika
kusangenzeka mangabe sesizoqeda kuze phela abantwana mabephuma babikela isizwe ukuthi namhlanje inkantolo bekwenzakalani njengoba nibonile nayizolo kuukuthi nje kusakhulunywa kodwa kangeni kumzimba wendaba ngempela ingqikithi ekhuluma ngesihlalo njengoba udaba lifakwe enkantolo ngendlela nazi ngayo nina bahlonishwa bethu beyindaba so liyothi ke mangabe selivuthwa udaba sekudlulwe ekutheni lizoqulwa kanjani njengoba kade umntwana echaza izolo echazela isizwe kuyobe ke sewubona ke lapho ukuthi liyangalaphi kodwa njengoba sishilo thina ukuthi simi nje la simkhona ukuthi isihlala sisodwa sikhona futhi ukhona esithi bayede kuye.
Mnumzane Sibalikhulu siye sisizwe siwachoba sibuye siwayeke so phinde sibambe futhi siphinde sikhulume. Well Mpho that was Senzo Dlamini, who's of course one of the amabutho for the very few ones who are present here in court. He's saying of course the reason why we're not seeing as many people gathered here today as compared to yesterday of course is that they are now adhering to COVID-19 regulations and more importantly respecting a word that was issued by Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, who of course occupies the role of Prime Minister to the Zulu nation and monarch. He says, however, that the majority of people within the AmaZulu nation are in full support of King Misuzulu Zwelithini for the position. We know that the matter is currently getting in court. What you've been told, I mean, if you've been reading some of the SMSs that have been coming to us as members of the media gathered here, even from some members of the Zulu royal family, those of course that are aligned to King Misuzulu Zwelithini. They're confident in Paul, just like Mr. Dlamini was elaborating earlier on, they're confident that when the late Zulu King Zwelithini Kapeku Zulu died, he left an heir, and that heir is King Misuzulu Zwelithini.
Very well, Nkosikhona Duma, we leave it there for now.